I hear this all the time from my clients. How do I stop the late night snacking? So you're not alone. A lot of people do it. And here's the scenario. You plan the day out, it goes well, you finish your dinner off at 6:30 or 7, then 8:30 or 9 rolls around, maybe just like a little something salty just to finish off the night. Maybe you like something sweet. Next thing you know, you've done a drive-by through the pantry, a couple handfuls of chocolate chips, and you got your hand in the bag of potato chips because you wanted sweet and salty. Does this scenario sound familiar? Now you're worried, did I wreck all my fat loss goals? And why do I keep doing this over and over and treading water and not making progress? Well, in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you my 3 favorite tips to help with stopping the late night snacking so that you can continue to progress towards your goals. Yeah, it takes a little planning and a little practice to make it a habit and part of your lifestyle, but isn't that what this is all about? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brant Bermudez, the owner of Nutrition First Coaching, and my main mission is to help people gain their confidence back by living a healthy, sustainable lifestyle approach to eating healthy, losing weight, and improving their body composition so that they feel like the greatest version of themselves. Because I know so many people out there are struggling with late night snacking and really feeling like they're just wrecking their goals after they've done so well all day, I put together a guide that will help you set this up correctly so that you don't fall into the trap of late night snacking over and over again. If you want this guide, just drop me a little note below. I'll send it over to you in Messenger. No opt-in, no email, no nothing like that. I'll just send it over to you for watching today, because one of my main missions is to give you functional, usable content that you can apply to your life today. Now let's get into the video. Tip number 1, plan your snack. I know what you're saying, like you don't always know that you're gonna want this snack, but trust me, if you take 5 minutes and you look at the next day and you think, okay, I'm probably gonna want a little something, maybe a sweet treat after dinner, or a little something salty that you know is gonna be like a little carb-fat combination, put that into your day, plan that out. Take a little time, look through MyFitnessPal, figure out your macros for the day. If you're using more of just a kind of habit and lifestyle approach, then just plan your day by eating really good for breakfast, lunch, and then backing off a little bit on the calories for dinner so that you can fit that little snack in at the end of the day. If you can plan it like this, then it does 2 things. 1, it's going to fit into your calorie budget, it's going to fit into your macros, and it's going to keep you on track towards your goals. Now, that's one very big thing. The second thing it does is it improves your relationship with food. So you're not getting to the end of the day feeling guilty, not being able to stop yourself, maybe sneaking something really quick because you know nobody's watching you, and then being like, why do I just wreck it myself? You have no integrity. You start to build this negative relationship with food versus just working it into your day, feeling good about it, knowing you did all the right things up to that point. And so you deserve this nice little sweet treat, and you can fit in the foods that you love. This is a huge mental win as well as a good physical win that's going to keep you moving in the directions of your goals. Like most of my tips, the first thing that's going to come out of my mouth is let's plan it out. Let's figure it out ahead of time. Let's have at least a rough plan, but put it in a plan so that you can try to execute your plan. Be proactive, don't be reactive when it comes to your nutrition. Tip number 2, man, this is one of my favorite topics. Make the bad be good. So what I mean by that is you've planned it into your day because you used the last tip. Now what you're gonna do is have it fit into your macros as well. Because who doesn't love ice cream? But how about a healthy protein ice cream that you make yourself? I have a great recipe for this. It takes like 6-8 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, depending on how cold you want it to get. But I'll give it to you in the guide. Just shoot me a little message below. That'll be on the guide. And you can customize it yourself. You want a little bit more sweetness in there? Maybe you put a few chocolate chips on it. You have a little bit more fats you can use. Maybe there's a little peanut butter mixed in there with it. But this can be a pretty protein dense tasty, feeling good because you're making that, brownie with whatever hydrogenated oils and crappy ingredients in it, and you're making it into a protein ice cream that has 3 or 4 basic ingredients into it. This does a couple things for you that I really think is helpful, especially if you can follow it by doing this in the evening. You use this as kind of a special little treat. You eat it nice and slow, savor the taste of it, think about how delicious it is. This starts to build a really healthy relationship with food for you, but it also starts to get you to connect to these delicious flavors and how good and nourishing food is for you, so that you can start to transition from having to measure everything and knowing your calories and macros, that you can get into this maintenance lifestyle program where you know some of this healthy stuff that you can fit into your day, and you know what the rest of the days look like, so you can becoming, living this more habit-based kind of intuitive eating approach. It's a great thing to do. Make the bad be good. Make it in your mind knowing that it's good and you're doing good things for your body. This is just going to improve your relationship, but also move you towards your fat loss goals, your health goals, your body composition goals. It's going to keep you going in the right direction. If you do want this guide, just drop me a little message below, send it over to you in Messenger, and I think it'll be really helpful for you if you really battle with this late night snacking. All right, tip number 3. Avoid associating relaxing with late night snacking. Now this comes down to the habit loop. So there's a cue, there's a reward. All right, tip number 3. Avoid associating relaxing with late night snacking. So every habit goes through this loop. There's a cue, a craving, a response, and a reward. So let me ask you this question. Are you on autopilot after dinner in what you do in the evenings? And is it just automatically include, okay, we had dinner, we cleaned up, now we sit down, we're gonna watch some TV. That's when you grab a snack and you just kind of mindlessly eat it? Or that's when you start thinking about it and you think, okay, I'm relaxing now, so I'm gonna put something in front of me and eat this, whatever it is, chips, candy, some kind of probably empty calorie type of thing. If that's what's happening, then let's change when the cue is you're relaxing in the afternoon, evening, and then the craving is for something that's a snack type of thing. This is where we're going to replace that with something that is not food related. So easy ones are, maybe this is when you're watching some TV, you stretch a little bit. Maybe this is when you get out a journal and you write some things in a journal for 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe instead of watching TV, you read a book. Maybe you go walk the dog. Maybe you just turn all electronics off and you have a conversation with your spouse or your family or whatever. You just got to put something different in there for that response reward part of the whole habit cycle. Now this does more than one thing. It's that you got to break this habit cycle by getting out of the thought of needing to snack at that point, but you also have to replace that habit with something else. So why not make it something that's good for you? Stretching, soft tissue work, journaling, all the things we just talked about. Those are all going to kind of replace that. Now, on the guide, if you want this guide, just let me know and I'll send it over to you in Messenger. I'm going to give you a couple more bonus ones. I want to talk about this one a little bit because, I think this goes hand in hand with kind of setting up your environment, getting everything where you need it. The other 2 tips we talked about, which is planning and then making something healthy. If your environment is set up to be successful, this is where you're making it easy to create this new, healthier habit. If it's something you really just can't stop eating, get it out of the house. Don't buy it anymore. Give it away. Don't have it there, because chances are you're not going to get in the car and drive to the store and buy a gallon of ice cream, where that's a lot of work that makes it inconvenient to do that old habit. But if the new habit is something convenient, oh, you have your protein ice cream, or you have your journal sitting right there, and when you sit down, you can just start writing in your journal, or you have a little bin with your rollers and balls you can use to work on some soft tissue work. Make it easy, make it accessible so that you can replace that habit with something that is healthier for you. I know you're saying like setting up the environment is not always that simple, especially if you have a family or spouse or somebody else that's, they're not having those same goals and they want some of these things in the house. Well, a couple things we've done in the past with people is have this open conversation with your spouse and your family, what you're trying to do. And eventually you can loosen these up a little bit when you're in that maintenance period. But for now, you want to try not to have these things in the house. Maybe if they still want them in the house and you understand that part too, you tell them to put it wherever they want to keep it so that you just don't even know it's there. Maybe you create a separate space in the pantry for this stuff and you don't even look at that stuff, so it's out of sight, out of mind. Whatever it is, you got to set the environment up for success, and you got to communicate with everybody that's supporting you and that's in your life on a daily basis so that you can be healthy and you can cut this habit out, which is really one of the keystone habits to eating and being healthy, is having 2 or 3 hours before bed, not eating those extra calories, letting your body rest and digest so that you can sleep and recover and feel better when you go into the next day. Keep making those good decisions. And if you want that guide again, shoot me a little message below. I'll send it over to you in Messenger. I think this is one of my favorite topics, talking about this stuff. So I hope you're enjoying it. Like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.